Hiya, Mel Houghton back again. How you doing? Hopefully I found an area where there's a bit less wind. I just sat down here and the wind blew, so hopefully we'll do all right. Now I'm sitting here, I just got my cup of coffee, got my green juice. What I do like is balance, so I'm balancing the acid with the alkaline. I can't have my coffee without having my green juice, and can't have my green juice without having my coffee. I like both. I like to experience both. And that's what this whole video series is about. It's about embracing the light and the dark within the self. Now, excuse me if I do this. I'm just trying to hide the microphone from the wind so that you can still hear me and the wind isn't too affecting of this video. Now, in video 2, we're going to go into a little bit more about the 3 things that hold you back from achieving your dreams and desires, and what the 3 levels of change are that you can utilize to lastingly shift them. Because I had to learn the hard way, as I shared in my story in video 1, that we can't just use one strategy to heal. We need multiple strategies to heal, because I could use one, but then I'd unconsciously sabotage myself. I'd use another, and then I'd use limited thinking that would hold me back or not see the opportunity in what I was experiencing. So there's 3 levels. So we're going to cover both of those today. Because remember, there's never been a better time to live your inspired calling and get handsomely paid to do that. There's never been a better time. Yet still so many of us don't do it. Why? Self-sabotage, self-doubt, limiting beliefs. Over 90% of the women that I've spoken to believe that what really holds them back from what they truly want to create is inside them. Yet they go and try and find solutions outside of themselves and then wonder why it doesn't lastingly work. The solution is always internal. As I say, if you think the source of the problem or the solution is outside of yourself, it's only an illusion. We must look within. And I had to learn that journey myself. So, as I shared in my story, we can't just rely on one strategy. I shared with my sports model competition how, excuse me, I got hair in my mouth. As I shared with my sports model competition, I used the manifestation tools that I was learning, and I created a powering result with it. Yet, as I got to it after that, all of this unconscious stuff came up to sabotage my experience and maintain rapport with the old belief system that I was still harboring internally. What I learned is that unless we update that unconscious programming, we can't sustainably create what we want. It's going to want to take us out. That's when self-sabotage kicks in. It does that to try and maintain rapport with what we believe to be true unconsciously. It's unconscious. It was conscious, but we change it. So we may consciously believe that we're worthwhile human beings, but it's unconscious if we believe that we're not, then you're going to create dissonance there. You're not going to lastingly have an experience in life that reflects your belief in your own worthiness if you believe unconsciously that you're not, because your life will reflect what you believe to be true unconsciously. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and how to handle it on 3 levels. So, level 1, embracing the light and the dark within yourself, is the unconscious core beliefs. Now, the work that I do lastingly shifts them. There's a lot of belief change work out there, and I'm sure a lot of them work. This is the only one that I've found to lastingly work. For me, it's helped me shift things in my life that I couldn't do with the manifestation tools, that I couldn't do with the conscious creation mentality and mindset I was creating. It's what I call to be the Neanderthal of personal development, the missing link between conscious change and sustainable change. And that's why I love it so much. And so you need to handle it on a core belief level. You need to find out what the core belief is driving the experience unconsciously, and then update that unconscious programming. When you do that, you start to be different without even having to remember to be different. It's very, very cool. I actually track these belief changes with my clients, because otherwise they won't recognize that they're different. They just start acting different and don't know, because it's all unconscious. Their filters just start to change. What happens is the reticular activating system starts to reflect back to them better and better experiences, because their beliefs are more supportive unconsciously. It becomes very natural and easy change. Change without struggle, as they call it. In addition, we also work with the behavioral level shifts. That's how we start to cement it into the conscious awareness a little bit more. Because if we just did the unconscious stuff, you wouldn't feel like you're doing very much. So our conscious likes to strengthen its muscles. So this is like the weight training of personal development to strengthen your battle. So the behavioral change work as well. I'm going to share one example of that with you in video number 3. And the other side of things is the spiritual growth. In addition to manifestation calls, creating what you want, what Spirit most cares about is that we live our divine destiny. It's going to support us no matter what we experience to live the highest truth of who we really are. And there is a lot of lessons that come from that journey. All our soul cares about is that we get the lessons that we're here to get. And that may appear positive or negative on the surface, depending on how you're judging it. But in the truth, all experiences are neutral. And a lot of my work, once we handle and help you with the unconscious blocks, with the behavioral change, get to have a conversation about what this is really about and how to identify the difference in your life between what is really here to serve you and what's really holding you back, and which is which. Because sometimes what looks like a dreadful ending is actually a powerful new beginning. It just depends on how you look at it. So I wanted to talk a bit more about when we know what these things are that are holding us back. The experience of it shows up as self-doubt, self-sabotage, and limiting beliefs. The work to do is around behavioral level change. It's around taking the lessons for spiritual growth, and it's around those unconscious core beliefs. And what I had to discover in my own journey is that I needed all 3 in order to lastingly shift and create what I want. I needed all 3. So it's so important. So what is it that holds people back from living your dreams and desires? When you know that, you know what these 3 things are. I wanted to talk about some of the biggest objections that I hear from people who do this work. Number 1, they tell me, well, I'm not like you, Mel. I'm different. You can do it. I can't. Well, here's the deal. If you see something great in me, it's because it's in you. There are plenty of people who say lots of nasty things about me, and I know that's not about me. It's about them, right? And the same is true of the nice things. I'm going to appreciate that comment, but I don't need it because I have those compliments from within myself. And the same is true for you. If you see something great in me, it's because it's in you. So owning that brightness that you see shining in others, because you can't see it in others unless it's within you also. So if you see something great and it's truly in your truth and you really want to do it, there's absolutely a way for you to do it. Cool. All right. The next one is like they say, well, maybe I should just be happy with what I've got. Maybe I should just be grateful for what I have. And absolutely, nothing wrong with gratitude. Absolutely appreciate, value what you have. And for the soul, the human soul, it's not fulfilled unless it's growing and sharing the lessons of what we learn with others. So without growth, our soul begins to die. We exist but do not live. So absolutely, be happy now. Be grateful now. Do what makes you happy now and seek growth and expansion. For it's through that that humanity evolves and moves forward. It's through that that fulfillment occurs in the soul. It's through that that life expands through us. So do both. Have both. Not one or the other. Go for both. Cool? And the other thing I wanted to talk about is, talking about, well, that's all well and good for you, but, that's not me, is what's going on with a lot of these people when we're doing the comparison to others or when we're downplaying our own wants and needs. All of that stems from the core belief that who we are isn't enough. Now, consciously, we may believe it to be, well, of course I'm enough, but unconsciously, no. Anytime we go to do something different that we've never done before, that unconscious dissonant stuff's going to come up and want to try and take us out. Here's what I know to be true. You can lastingly shift the core belief that believes that who you are isn't enough. You can absolutely do it. You can believe that you are enough and then create from that place. Because truly, the foundation of enoughness is actually the platform that you create your true wealth and wisdom from. And you can't lastingly sustain it without that level of self-acceptance and self-belief. So what happens is when you don't believe consciously that who you are is enough, you have one or two overreactions. The first reaction is to want to overachieve. Now, this was me as an elite athlete. I was a chronic overachiever. What I believed was, you know what, if I just achieve this goal and I hit this time in the pool, then maybe I'll be enough. We act to prove our worth to the world. It comes from a place of not enough, and we believe that getting what we want will help us feel enough, right? That's the overachieving side of the equation. The underachieving side of the equation is people downplay and they underachieve. They don't raise their hand. They don't go for what they want. They settle for less than they deserve. They stay quiet, play small, and don't even question their rights and assumptions. They just do what other people want without thinking about what they want for themselves. Both of those are a distortion and response to a core belief that says who you are isn't enough. So the behavioral level is to notice whether you're acting to prove your worth to the world or downplaying who you are because you feel like you're not enough. And when we do this work, and we do this work in our Fab Mastermind that we run to lastingly shift that unconscious core belief that says who you are isn't enough, to remember the truth of who you are is that who you are is already more than enough to do what you came here to do. Your divine destiny is waiting for you, and it's set up from a platform of enoughness that allows you to create true wealth and wisdom from within. And we're going to talk more about it in video 3. I wanted to share a story of how this shows up for my client. Hi there, Mel Houghton back again. We had to move inside because my battery died on my laptop, so I had to plug it in. Anyway, as I was saying before we moved inside, I wanted to share a story of an example of one of my clients. Now, I'm going to call her Mary. And so her name's changed. When I met Mary, Mary was a successful business owner with a young son, and she was experiencing a lot of turbulence. She was juggling a lot of balls, had a lot of balls in the air, and was very distracted. She found it very difficult to get to sleep at night because she had so much going on. What I learned about Mary is what Mary was doing is she was spending so much of her time trying to keep everyone else around her happy, she'd lost sight of who she was. And the journey that we took Mary through is when we started her belief in herself, or her core belief. Now I track this with a rating scale of 1 to 10. Why? Proof's in the pudding, and I like things to be real. So I like to use numbers for that. So her belief in who she was enough. A scale of 1 to 10, 10 being completely congruent, 100% believe that to be true. 1 being, are you fucking kidding me? Of course I don't believe that to be true. Apologies about the F word. And so hers was about 4 out of 10. And she was running this business with 2 other business owners. So they had a 3-way partnership, and it was quite intimidating. I was a little bit intimidated, and I've learned from that. And so she had this amazing successful business, and as we started to do this inner game work with her, we started to see all of the stuff that was just beneath the surface in this relationship. It was actually quite a toxic business relationship. And so what was a natural facilitation from that place is we got her out of that partnership. They insolved the business partnership, and she started to do the work that she really loves with clients that she loves to work with, not clients that were a hassle every day and destroying her sense of self. And so she stopped having the thoughts late at night, was able to sleep better, felt more on purpose and on path, and her core belief went from a 4 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10. And I remember after we got her through that transition with her business, got her really clear on who her target audience was, got her serving them in a way that she felt inspired to, I said, so, Mary, do you want to know what this change is in your core beliefs? It's been a few months. And so she said, yeah. She also asked her, how true does it feel for you to be enough now? What's the scale of 1 to 10? She said, 9. I feel like I found my enoughness. I'm like, that's beautiful. Do you want to know what it was a few months ago? She said, yeah, sure. And I said, 4. And she cried. Because it was only through that tracking process that we actually realized how much of a progress that she'd made. Because this stuff's unconscious, you don't recognize it consciously unless you track it. So that's an example of someone and one of the transitions I took one of my clients through from where she was in a successful business to her inspired calling and her experience of enoughness. because you're probably in one or two positions listening to this video series. You're either in a business or a career that you don't love and you're working probably a little bit too hard in for not quite enough money. Or you are doing what you love, but you're not getting the cash or the clients coming in that you really want. So this transition and what I'm going to share with you in video 3 is the exact 7-step process that takes you from either that busyness in something you don't really love or not having the clients and confidence and cash flow that you want, into making good money living your inspired calling, so that you too can create a freedom lifestyle by design and live authentically and do what you were born to do on the planet. So I'm looking forward to share video 3 with you. That'll be out to you in a couple of days, and I'll see you then. Talk to you soon. Bye.